So now we want to use data templates to wire up our view and view model. To do this, you generally have to have a hierarchical scheme, which we'll get into more details on later. But first off, we're going to add a view model to our main window. And we'll expand that class to have a current view model property, which for demo purposes here, we can just statically wire up to an instance of our customer list view model. So we're exposing that child view model now as something that can be data bound to from elements within the main window. So the next step, of course, is to wire this up as the view model for the main window. Now we could use a view model locator for this, but I'm just going to wire it up statically for this demo in the XAML. So first step is to add a namespace for the root folder, and then add our standard static XAML wire up of a view model, setting the data context to an instance of the view model. Then finally, to do this view model first wire up, we're going to replace the static instance of the view here with a content control. And that content control's content property is going to be bound to that current view model property on the main window view model, which we know contains a customer list view model. Now again, if we were to run at this point, we would just get a toString of that type as it tries to render out that object. But if we go into the window and add into its resources a data template that is mapped by type to the customer list view model that's being rendered out, then we can render the appropriate visual structure for that, which in our case is already defined as its view. So if we just make the content of the data template be a view type and map the data type to its corresponding view model type, and that view model type is rendered out through a binding into a container control like a content control or an items control, then the magic of implicit data templates kicks in. And as part of trying to render out this content, it will go out to the resources, it will locate a data template that's mapped to the appropriate type, and then it will render its contents, setting the data context of that root element to that data object, which is our view model, thereby satisfying the equation of MVVM. See that in action? Let's go ahead and run. And you can see we're back in business with our view. Just one final reminder, because I screw it up all the time myself, make sure you use that Xtype markup extension to specify the type you're mapping to. Don't just put the type name or you'll silently get nothing.